Will you and Terence Bud Crawford fight in 2024?
I don't know, we could do something. Okay. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Last but not least, give me the one mega fight that's still on the horizon for Jermell Charlo. It can be anybody.
Canelo.
Give me that one.
Jermell Charlo and Canelo. Can easily happen. Yeah.
Really? That's a fight you want?
I would take that fight easy, yeah.
Breaking news. The undisputed champion Jermell Charlo, who happens to be a top 5 pound for pound, finally accepted to fight the pound for pound king himself, Terence Bud Crawford. Here is exactly what Charlo said on the Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer. Check it out.
Now, Bud Crawford was on The Last Stand.
Correct.
And boy, he had a lot to say about Jermell Charlo. And in fact, he
course.
said he thought getting a fight with you would be easier than getting a fight with Errol Spence, because he said, I think Jermell Charlo would push for that more than Errol. And his quote, this is what he said on The Last Stand, quote, "Something's wrong with that dude. He needs to stay off whatever he's on, because if I can recall, I was already a 2-time world champion before he was even world champion. And I'm talking to both of them. So how somebody piggyback off my name when I was already the man? I don't understand that. I was already on the pound for pound list. I was in talks to be the next best thing since Mayweather retired. I never heard of his name being in talks of any of that sort of type of thing. So how can I be piggybacking off of him and his brother's name when I've accomplished way more in the sport of boxing? If that don't make any sense at all, I don't know what does. I would love to get him in the ring and shut him up. I will F him up. The only thing he's going to do is cry afterwards. All he does is run around, yell, angry, and be mad at himself." End quote.
Just whatever, guy. You get your paperwork right. Talk to Mr. Heyman. We'll get a fight going. And you're damn right, it'll be easier. Let's get a big fight going, matter of fact. And I'll show you better than I can tell you. Ain't nothing easy in the ring with me, so I don't. Just, you know, I'm grown. These kids, they just talk and just. He ain't fought nobody for real. You know, like he just got out of the top rank contract because Bob didn't want no more, so he just got rid of him. So it's just like I don't know. I'm like, hey, why you don't make the fight with the man that's in front of you? Errol been calling you out. Get him, get in the ring, man. You know, we don't know who these last guys are. He's signing deals with BKL, BLK, and he's just doing business wrong. He's sloppy with his business. So, I don't know what he want to do, but I'm down to fight. I don't got time to go back and forth with him. Yeah. You're a little boy. You come from 140. You're not even strong enough to even handle him. I'm throwing at you, and I'm not none of these guys he fought before. So it's like I'm undisputed for a reason. And I got my own little, you know, I got Tim Zoo, and then I got all these other little. He got to get in line anyways. The guy Boost Ennis on his. And he got Earl on his head. He trying to run. Don't run now. Run up out the sport. Don't run though.
I'm just curious. How would, because he says, look, I'll come to 154 and fight this guy now. How would a Jermell Charlo Bud Crawford fight play out in the ring?
I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he gonna last in with these big shots coming at him, but hey, only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype it. That's not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to fry.
I'm gonna leave the link for the full interview in the description box below. This was a great interview, so you guys make sure you check it out. That being said, Jermell Charlo did agree to fight Crawford. However, just not next. Jermell Charlo told Crawford, "You gotta get in line. I got people ahead of you." Obviously, here referring to Tim Tszyu and Fundora. Those are his mandatories, but what Jermell Charlo doesn't know is that Crawford can actually skip the line and get a VIP pass because he is the pound for pound king. For the people that don't know, recently the WBO president revealed that Virgil Ortiz, Crawford mandatory at 147, turned down the fight with Crawford 2 times. He refused to fight Crawford. Also, in that same interview, the WBO president revealed Crawford is not an ordinary champion due to the fact that he defended his WBO title 5 to 10 times already, and he held that title at 135, 140, and 147, which makes him a super champion. See, back in the day, a fighter could only get recognized as a super champion only after they defend their title 10 times against mandatories, so on and so forth. After that, they will have the privilege of being a super champion, which means they can move up weight divisions and become the mandatory right away. And they can even skip the mandatory of that division. So for Terence Crawford case, since he already defended his title more than 10 times already, the WBO recognized him as a super champion.
In WBO rules, we established that all super champions like Crawford is a super champion. A super champion for benefits. Okay, he has more privilege than the ordinary champion. Crawford last mandatory was older. That was Porter, John Porter. Crawford have no fight next. The time frame is almost over. Will be due now, and then probably the championship committee will order Crawford to face Rocha as a mandatory challenger because Bill Hill refused to fight him twice. I don't know why. Ortiz. Bill Ortiz, excuse me. Bill Ortiz refused him to fight. Bill was my friend from that.
Just to confirm, you're saying Virgil Ortiz refused to fight Crawford 2 times?
Yeah, we offered the fight twice here.
Paco, how likely are you and the committee to approve Terence Crawford to face Jermell Charlo at 154 pounds, being as though he's defended that title since he won it way back at 135 pounds? Is that something that you would be willing to approve? Because him and Charlo have had a lot of back and forth. Obviously, he wants Errol Spence, but he's made it clear that after Errol, he would fight Charlo. Now that he cannot get Errol, if he was the mandatory to Charlo, there's nothing politics can do other than make Charlo vacate that belt. Again, how likely are you to make that happen for Terence Bud Crawford?
I don't know if because you're still having problem with the communication, but the thing is that if Crawford wants to fight 154, we allow him to do it. You know, if Crawford wants to fight a 140, we allow him to do it because he's super champion and that's in the rules. You get the privilege.
So to be clear, if Crawford activated his super champion status, does he get first dibs at Charlo, or does he have to wait after the winner of Zoo Harrison?
No, that's something we can work on. Okay, we have to talk to everybody, but I would like to do that in agreement with everybody. But on the ordinary circumstances, Crawford has the right to fight in the upper division or lower division. In this case, if we have he got the right to fight in 6 months. That's what we have to discuss and decide because we never had that before.
That's amazing.
For that reason, I'm telling you that I prefer the parties to reach an agreement, and because we didn't have that situation before, that you have to decide between the super champion privilege and the interim champion rights.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, Crawford can move up and become Jermell Charlo mandatory right away. Better yet, skip past Tim Tszyu. However, what Crawford is going to have to end up agreeing to is fighting Tim Tszyu, the mandatory, immediately within 6 months if he does beat Jermell Charlo for Undisputed. Which, if you ask me, that's exactly what Terence Crawford needs to do if he can get the Errol Spence fight. If Crawford cannot get the Errol Spence fight, and I'm talking about getting that fight next, as early as possible since that fight has been long overdue, then Crawford needs to petition to the WBO to become Jermell Charlo mandatory. That's the best move on the chessboard for Crawford. time is not on Crawford's side. He's getting older by the minute. What is he, like 36 already? So time is not on his side. If Crawford wants to get the fights that he has earned and deserved, then he has to move strategically outside of the ring. Do what Devin Haney did. Lomachenko did not want to fight Devin Haney. So guess what Devin Haney did? He became undisputed. So Lomachenko had no choice but to fight him, meaning he put Lomachenko in a corner. And that's what Crawford needs to do. If Crawford cannot get the Errol Spence fight, then he should cut off the supplies. We all know Errol Spence is going to move up to 154 soon. So what Crawford needs to do is cut off the supplies. Go after the second best thing, which is Jermell Charlo. If you beat Jermell Charlo, now you the A side. That's when Errol Spence wouldn't have any choice but to see Crawford at 154 for undisputed. Errol Spence is not going to be able to go anywhere else. Therefore, Crawford has to make the right move. His next move has to be his best move. Furthermore, it was interesting to see how Jermell Charlo feels about Crawford. Regardless of what he says, Jermell Charlo, make no mistake, respects the heck out of Crawford because he views Crawford as a more dangerous fight than Canelo Alvarez, even though Crawford came from 135 pounds and currently he's a welterweight, which is one division below Jermell Charlo's division, while Canelo Alvarez campaigning right now at 168, which is 2 divisions above Jermell Charlo's division. Now, the reason why I said Jermell Charlo views Crawford as a more dangerous fight than Canelo is because Jermell Charlo voluntarily called out Canelo Alvarez. And we know Canelo, like I said, campaigns 2 divisions above him, and he already lost to Bivol. He's coming off a loss. He no longer a top 5 pound for pound. In fact, Canelo is not even on the top 10 pound for pound at the moment in time. However, Crawford, on the other hand, is the pound for pound king, and he's a division below him. But notice how even then, Jermell Charlo is more interested in fighting Canelo than Crawford. On this interview, Jermell Charlo talked about how he's still underrated, how they don't respect him, obviously, old media. They don't even have Jermell Charlo on the top 10 pound for pound, which is the ultimate disrespect if you ask me. But I told Jermell Charlo that was going to happen a long time ago, since he don't have the complexion for the connection. However, one way to solve all of the above is to fight the pound for pound king himself, Crawford. And if Jermell Charlo beats Crawford, not only Jermell Charlo is going to automatically become the pound for pound king, the pound for pound #1 in the sport of boxing, but also on top of that, Jermell Charlo is going to go from being a Hall of Famer, which is something that is not that impossible to do nowadays, since even Rocky himself is in the Hall of Fame, right? But Jermell Charlo is going to be able to go from being a Hall of Famer into being an all-time great if he beats Crawford. Therefore, at the moment in time, both Crawford and Jermell Charlo need each other. That's why it don't make no sense for Jermell Charlo to be calling out Canelo Alvarez, who recently lost to Bivol, and skip past Terence Bud Crawford, who is the pound for pound king at the moment in time. Especially when you factor in Jermell Charlo having the size advantage over Crawford, the Crawford versus Jermell Charlo fight being more makeable, and also Crawford calling out Jermell Charlo heavy, which this goes back to Jermell Charlo viewing Crawford as a more dangerous fight than Canelo Alvarez, despite Crawford being 3 divisions smaller than Canelo, which is why Floyd Mayweather always said, skills pay the bills. The irony of it all, even Errol Spence feels the same way. Remember when Errol Spence was telling Crawford to take a 70-30 split while dismissing Crawford as the next fight? However, with that same breath, Errol Spence called out Canelo at 168, where he even agreed to fight Canelo at a catchweight at 164. which means Errol Spence was willing to move up 3 weight divisions to fight Canelo with no problem before fighting Terence Crawford. Errol Spence preferred to do that. However, Canelo Alvarez did not even entertain him. So again, one thing in common between Errol Spence and Charlo, they view Crawford as a bigger threat than Canelo Alvarez, despite the fact that Crawford is 3 to 4 divisions smaller than Canelo Alvarez. With the facts being laid out, drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And being at this top level, you know, I just want my recognition. I'm getting the love that I deserve, and I'm still one of the most underrated. Not the highest rated fighter. So that gives me a hunger.
Oh, got you.
And I gotta continue that.